Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and I'm now joined by 2015 NFL Draft prospect, defensive back out of Virginia University of Lynchburg, Anttonio Brown. I appreciate you taking some time to chat, Antonio. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good, Chris. How's things going with you?
Hey, I certainly cannot complain. It's definitely a pleasure to have you on the show. And let's get right to it, Antonio. Your first year at VUL was actually the first year the football team had returned. VUL didn't have a football team for over 5 decades. If it wasn't for VUL bringing back their football team, would you be playing college football? Were there any other schools looking into you coming out of high school?
No, sir. I was non-recruited. I went to Tyler Junior College, TJC, as a walk-on. And, I got pretty homesick and went home to, take care of mama, and I just found the opportunity to get back in college through VUL. It was a great opportunity. It was closer to home, and it was very convenient.
And Antonio, you guys haven't had a lot of team success throughout your 4 years with the VUL Dragons, but a lot of talent is beginning to come out of VUL. Fellow defensive back Keith Lewis was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during training camp and preseason, performed well throughout the preseason, but didn't make it past the final cuts. Just a couple of weeks ago, he signed with the New York Jets. And another guy, defensive lineman LaKendrick Ross, was probably the biggest name in the supplemental draft, and he spent some time with the Cincinnati Bengals, so there's no doubt there's a lot of talent coming out of VUL. What would you say about the talent that has already come out of Virginia University of Lynchburg, like Lewis and Ross? And what would you say about the talent that has yet to come out of VUL, like yourself and some of your teammates?
Well, one thing I can say about Lewis and Ross, they are some extraordinary football players that a lot of guys really don't know about. VUL is filled with a lot of talented athletes that, guys who didn't have the opportunity to go to a big school. So it's a lot of talent down there in Virginia that a lot of people don't know about. And one thing about Keith, very fast, very great ball skills, great size. He has all the tools you were looking for in a shutdown corner. And LaKendrick, he's just amazing the way he can just foul the ball and bully people around on the line of scrimmage. That's something you would like. And for myself and the other guys that's coming out of VUL, to the draft, we're just a lot of guys who just been playing football all our life and just giving it our all and just want to just praise God for this opportunity to showcase our talent.
Absolutely. Anybody who knows me definitely knows I'm a fan of Lewis, Ross, a fan of the Virginia University of Lynchburg football team, and that includes yourself, Antonio. Definitely impressed with what I've seen out of you. Now, seeing those guys, Lewis and Ross, given the opportunity to play in the NFL, does that motivate you? Does that excite you even more?
Yes, it's a high motivation because I've been with LaKendrick Ross and Keith Lewis. These guys, not only my teammates, they're very good friends of mine. And more of the times is spending time on the practice field and after practice, running extra sprints, just trying to go the extra mile to make it. And for them guys to have an opportunity a year before I came out, it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing, overall blessing. And I'm so proud of them guys because I know the work that they put in to get to where they're at today. A lot of people don't know all the work that you have to put in behind the scenes when no one is looking. And one thing I can say about Keith Lewis and LaKendrick Ross, them boys work very hard, and I was right there to see it.
Yeah, man, you definitely have to put in a lot of work. You have to love the game of football in order to get that opportunity to play at the next level. Now, Antonio, what were your expectations for this past season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around at the college level?
Well, coming into this season, this off-season, I worked very, very hard, harder than I ever worked preparing for a season, and I just wanted to just leave it all on the line, just play football when I know the clock hits early, and I played my last game that I won't have any regret. So going into the season, I knew we was rebuilding. We have a new head coach by the name of Darley, who did an amazing job down there doing a rebuilding process. And I take my hat off to Coach and all my other teammates and all the other guys. But going into this season, I was just focused, just trying to just ball out, just put it all on the table, put it all on the line, and see where I end up at the end of the season.
Well, throughout your time with the Virginia University of Lynchburg Dragons football team, you started 14 of the 38 total games that you played in. You registered 160 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 15 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, and 4 forced fumbles. How exactly would you describe your overall college experience at VUL?
Well, my college friends at VUL was amazing. You know, coming from a Division II school and having the opportunity to play on that big stage against a lot of big D1 AA, HBCU powerhouses, and just being an underdog. I take pride in being an underdog, and the rest of my teammates, they know this as well. We take pride in it. We had some rough times during this 4-year tenure at VUL, but being an underdog is something that we took pride in, and it was just a great opportunity to play on that stage to show that you can compete on the FCS level, D2 level, the Division III level. If you can play football, VUL is the place to go to showcase your talent.
Chris Shanafelt talking with 2015 NFL draft prospect, defensive back out of Virginia University of Lynchburg, Anttonio Brown. And Antonio, you mentioned it, you know, not just this past season, but really throughout your time at VUL. You guys have played a lot of talented teams, and this past season you played some talented teams such as Alcorn State, Gardner-Webb, and St. Francis. Now, whether it was from this year or in years past, who would you say is the best or most impressive player that you've played against?
The best and most impressive? Whew. I played against some great guys. That's pretty hard to say, Chris, but I have to take my hat off to 2014 SWAC champions, Alcorn. Them boys was amazing. They came to play, and they have a nice quarterback down there. I can't think of his name, but he's very nice and very talented.
I believe it's, maybe is it John Gibbs? I believe that might ring a bell.
Yes, John. That's his name. That's his name.
All right, yeah, definitely a talented team. Can't go wrong with him. Now, if you had to single out one, what's the biggest or most memorable play that you've made throughout your college football career?
Well, I have to say the interception. I caught an interception late in the game when we was going back and forth against Edward's College, and it was on their homecoming. It was on T in Jacksonville, Florida. The mayor was there, so it was a big game. It was a rival game because we played against Edward Waters 3 years in a row, and we always come down to the last minute. And to be able to just step up and be good for my team and come up with a big play, an interception, that was just one of my highlights of my career.
Nice. Big-time players make big-time plays, Antonio. Now,
Thank you.
Antonio, Keith Lewis is the only VUL alum currently in the NFL. Kendrick is a free agent looking for a team. Now, whether it was one of those guys, both of those guys, or somebody else, have you been able to talk to anybody at the next level or had any experience at the next level, and have they given you any advice as to what to expect during this draft process?
Yeah, I talked to Keith for that. He's one of my mentors, the guy that I look up to, and the reason why I look up to Keith for that, because he went through the same thing I went through as far as trying to get there, trying to make it. So he knows what it takes. And Keith just always tells me, just work hard, you know, stay humble, and just keep working and pray. So that's something I take pride in. I try to do a lot. And a lot of guys that I played with in the FCS National Bowl that I competed with, some of the coaches and et cetera, you know, I still reach out to the guys, and they always tell me, you know, Antonio, stay motivated and just keep pushing. So I keep pushing, I keep grinding, and I'm not going to stop.
Sounds good. Now, let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this very interview. Why should he want defensive back Anttonio Brown out of Virginia University of Lynchburg a part of his team?
Because it's about work ethic. I have great character, great guy, and just an all-around ball player. I'm a football player. And I just love to complete. It would be an honor for any GM that's listening to this today to just give me an opportunity to represent your team, your city, the organization, and you would not be disappointed.
It only takes one team to give you that opportunity, Antonio. And what do you feel is your biggest strength as a defensive back? I know you're able to play both strong safety and nickel back. What's your biggest strength?
I would have to say my IQ and my physicality. I was not always the fastest, not always the biggest or the strongest, but I'm very smart. I pay close attention to details, from a 3-step drop to a 5-step drop, or just something simple if the receiver wanted to line out wide on the numbers or close in the hash, and I'm very physical. I love contact. I never ran away from contact. I prefer contact, to be honest.
I love it, man. I love it. I've told you this in the past that there's nothing more that I love personally than a physical defensive back, somebody who could light somebody up. I mean, I absolutely love it now. Anttonio, what about a weakness? Is there anything specific that you'll be taking some time to improve on during the offseason?
Well, one thing the offseason I worked last offseason and this offseason is, my footwork, my technique, and my speed. That's something that can never get old. In the NFL, you have great feet, you have great technique, you'll be around for a long time. So I just try to polish those things because I know that's what stands out the most about a defensive back. Even if you get beat on the ball, your technique will have you recover and make up and make a play. So I just try to polish my skills and my technique and just overall just watch films, look for tendencies, and I watch guys like Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, Earl Thomas, try to steal a little stuff from their game to add to my game and make me a better overall football player.
That's great. Chris Shanafelt talking with 2015 NFL draft prospect, defensive back out of VUL, Anttonio Brown. And Anttonio, when did you realize that the NFL may not only be a dream, but it could become a reality?
I would have to say mid-season. I was playing very good, and my coach pulled me in his office, and we had a conversation, and that's when I realized that things are coming to a reality. Being a young kid out of Northwest Washington, D.C., I've never ever been to a professional NFL game, so I think, if I haven't been by now, maybe it's meant for me to play and watch.
That's awesome. Now, you've definitely had an interesting journey to get to where you're at today. Why do you believe you deserve a shot in the National Football League?
Because my hunger, sir. I've been playing this game since I was 6 years old. I turn 25 next week, so I just love the game of football. It's just something that I grew into as a family. I come from a football family, and football is just very big in my household, so I thrive off it. Football also gave me the opportunity to get an education, which I received the 2011 Academic All-American. So just the opportunity to do something positive in life, and I take my hat off to anybody out there who's a football player or who want to go to college. If you play football, go to college and play football. It's not only do you get a chance to showcase your talent on the next level, but it's an opportunity to grasp a free education. And that's what stands out the most to me, the fact that I was able to get out of Washington, D.C. and get in a classroom and receive an education. That's nothing no one can ever take away from me.
That's definitely great stuff. Chris Shanafelt talking to 2015 NFL draft prospect defensive back Anttonio Brown here on the CS podcast. And just a couple more questions, then I'll let you go, Anttonio. I really do appreciate your time. When I turn on the tape, I see a very, very physical defensive back that sure knows how to lay a hard hit, and you always seem to be around the football, and obviously the speed is there. Now, whether they're scouts, coaches, or even fans, what do you want people to take away from when they watch your tape or highlights?
Well, I would have to say my versatility, Chris. I can play corner, I can play nickel, I can play strong safety, I can play free safety. I played a little 7 technique, line head up over the tight end. I played a little outside linebacker. Just being able to move me around like a chess piece and know that I will perform at any position you put me at on the field. That's something that I really, really take pride in. Not being able to just to play outside linebacker or playing safety. The fact that God has blessed me to be able to play anywhere on the football field is just amazing.
All right, Anttonio, if you would compare yourself to a defensive back currently playing in the NFL, who do you think that would be and why?
Well, I'm a great fan of T.J. Ward. I like his coverage skills. He can come down, he can hit, he can line up in a box. You can move him all over. He's very versatile. A big defensive back that I grew up watching all my life is Sean Taylor. I take pride in Sean Taylor. He's a big hitter. He can cover. You can put him in the strong. You can put him in the free. Just all-around freak of nature on the football field. And I take pride. I watched a lot of film on Sean Taylor coming up, being a Washingtonian out of Northwest Washington, D.C.
Definitely cannot go wrong with both T.J. Ward and Sean Taylor. And last but not least, Anttonio, a couple of weeks ago you participated in the FCS National Bowl, a college AllStar Game for some of the small school standouts. How was that experience?
It was a wonderful experience coming from a Division II school and having the opportunity to play against a lot of D1 AA football players from the FCS all over the country. It's just amazing. You know, you go out there with these guys for 3 days and you establish these friendships and these bonds, and it feels like you've been playing with these guys for 4 years. So it was just an amazing opportunity, it was great overall. Being in South Beach, Miami, playing a football game while other guys in class taking finals. It was just amazing.
Hey, getting away to Miami during December definitely sounds good to me, man. Any chance you're able to speak with any scouts, or if not, do you have any idea what they might be saying about you?
Well, I talked to a few scouts, and they told me that I had great ball skills. They liked the fact that I was physical, and they liked my technique. So it was just some small things that they pointed out that I can work on, make my game better. But overall, it was good. It was good. I had a couple of good reviews from the scouts down there that was at the FCS Bowl, and it was just a humbling experience.
Oh man, I bet. Now, is there any other All-Star invites you got? Anything else in the works?
Well, right now I've been invited to the 2014 Dream Bowl on January 19th in Virginia Beach, but that's pretty much it for now. I'm still got my fingers crossed, and hopefully some other bowl games will fall through.
Right on. Well, I'm definitely wishing you nothing but the best. Best of luck at the Dream Bowl. Best of luck at getting any other invites. And Antonio, I really do appreciate your time. It really was great talking to you. I'm wishing you nothing but the best throughout this process. You have anything else before I let you go?
No, sir. I just want to say God bless to all student athletes, or even if you're not a student athlete, just God bless you. Pray for me through this process, and hopefully sometime in March, April, I'll be sitting down with a hat on with a smile on my face.
Yes, sir. Sounds great, Antonio. Certainly hope we keep in touch, and take care, all right?